Hello everybody, my name's Idiotic Synergy and today we're talking about Axon Hammer, which sounds like a name of a Warhammer YouTube channel, doesn't it? I should have named my channel Axon Hammer, but then I would have been absolutely beaned by the Games Workshop copyright system. And also, I like the name Idiotic Synergy. It's grown on me, even though it doesn't make any sense because it implies there is more than one person on the channel. There isn't, it's just me, by myself, on my own, always. It's a sad existence, but, you know, could be worse. So, Axon Hammer is a house agent that I've already sort of covered before. But I never did a video. I covered when this model first got released. I was like, oh, the model looks nice. Same with Durg and Killfist. And to be fair, I'm not happy with that video because it was really rushed. And I looked at two models, the exact same. Like two models, didn't know anything about the rules and just went, oh, that's nice. And yeah, it's not my best video. And I'm never going to claim that I know everything about Necromunda. But I would rather get the rules right and redo it again than whatever that old video was where I just went, oh, that looks nice, and barely paid attention to the rules. Obviously, I will still make mistakes because nobody is going to know absolutely every single rule in Necromunda. That's insane. The amount of weird and wonderful rules this game has, it'd be insane trying to memorize all of them. But I want to just do right. I just want to, you know, do it correctly and not just half-arse it. So, looking at the model again, I will admit, the model... I did like the model when it first came out, but... If you just told me this was a generic Goliath ganger or Goliath captain, I would believe you. There isn't anything here that makes him stand out. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just that it's a bit average. I mean, the combi bolter is quite a nice touch. I do like the combi bolter just because it's a plasma gun that's just attached by straps to a bolt gun. I find that quite funny. But it's a bit generic in my opinion, but I'm not just going to hate it for the sake of hating it because the complaint of, oh, it looks generic isn't really one that matters. It's not a terrible model, and hell, you might like it. And I do like it, even if it's a bit generic, if that makes sense. I do like the Mohawk. The Mohawk is quite nice. I think they were heavily inspired by Mike Brooks. I always want to say Mark, but it's never Mark Brooks. It's always Mike Brooks. If you don't know who he is, read Cunning and Brutal Cunning. I nearly said Brutal and Cunning. That's not called that. It's Brutal Cunning. It's a good book. The Admech stuff is a bit... no, actually, I enjoyed the Admech stuff. Seriously, I like seeing how the Admech tried to fight against the Orcs. I've watched the Adeptus Ridiculous episode, and the Adeptus Ridiculous episode where they reviewed the book. I understand why they thought the Admech bits were a bit slow, but I generally enjoyed them just because I liked having that perspective. Anyway, oh dear, I'm just waffling along. So, yeah, the model is quite solid, and holy blue screen, Batman. Can that go away? Thank you. It's a really nice model. I do like how, from this perspective, it looks like he's smiling slightly. Just slightly, but not really. I do like the combi bolter, just because it looks so ramshackled. I mean, hell, regular bolters do look ramshackled anyway, especially Chaos ones, but I just like how this guy's definition of a combi bolter is half a plasma gun attached to a bolter. That is some orc level bullshit right there, and you have to respect it. And yeah, this is what it looks like unpainted, and I like the sculpt. The sculpt is quite nice, even though it is from Forge World, but that's an old complaint. So, we should get into the rules then. However, because it's a house agent, I need to show you something that will make sense in just one moment. So let me show you what house agents do in Necromunda. I'm going to jump cut here. I don't know why the awkward pause, but I'm going to jump cut. So yeah, let's go. So agents can't be hired like regular bounty hunters. Basically, you have to petition them first. It's quite simple. Throughout the campaign, you get reputation. If you're doing quite badly, then you can hire these agents for cheaper. These are like special bounty hunters that will give your gang that extra fighting chance if you're doing quite badly. But if you're doing well, then you can't hire them, or it's going to be even more costly to hire them. So because Axon is a special character bounty hunter, also if your rep is over the max limit, then you can't hire them. But say your reputation is, you know, quite bad, then you can hire a special character for the low cost. But if you're doing quite well, but you can still hire them, then it will cost, obviously, a higher price. But if it's anything over 16, or for a generic agent, an 11, then you can't hire them. They will just go, no, piss off. And yeah, I like that system where it's like a nice balance. And I don't think I've explained it properly. I know I covered it with Clovis the Redeemer and a couple of other house agents, but I never gone into detail on how that worked. So yeah, if you want to hire an agent because you're suffering, then go for it, because some of them are quite good. So let's get into Axon Hammer himself. So, Axon Hammer can be hired for either 100 credits or 200 credits, so quite cheap to quite expensive. And this is what you're getting. Movement 4, weapon skill 3, ballistic skill 3, strength 4, toughness 4, which is normal for Goliaths, 3 wounds, initiative 4, attacks 3, leadership 5, cool check 4. That cool check's really good. That's the second guy I covered today that has a really good cool check. Willpower 7, intelligence 6. His skills are Fist of Steel, which just baffles me because he has no melee. I guess that makes sense, he has no melee weapon, but his name is Axon Hammer and he doesn't have a hammer. Explain that one to me. But, you know, Fist of Steel and hip shooting. That's a really weird skill, if I'm being honest. I thought it would have fast shooting or something else. Weapons, bolt gun, plasma gun, combi weapon, and frag grenades. And war gear is furnace plates and a refractor shield. I will have to show you what a refractor shield does, because it's slightly different than regular armor. Ooh. And he has got this ability. I say it's an ability. I call it more of a hindrance. But it's quite good for your opponent, not for you. The enemy gains a bounty reward of 200 credits if this fighter is killed, either through a memorable death or captured. Now, the chances of a memorable death are extremely low. You have to roll 2 6s your opponent has to roll 2 6s for a memorable death. But you can capture this guy, and if you manage to capture him, 200 creds. That's a lot of credits. If you want to know how much that is, you can hire more fighters. You can get really good weapons for 200 credits. That is a heavy flamer or more bodies. Honestly, I would go for more bodies. You can buy quite a lot of weapons with 200 credits. You can buy quite a lot of armor and hazard suits for 200 credits. You can even buy... yeah, you can buy a lot of things for... for, you know, 200 credits. It's quite a substantial award. However, you are going to have to try and capture him or kill him. But if you do, then 200 credits is for you, and that's quite a lot. So, that being said, I'm going to have to show you what his skills are. We all know what a plasma gun and bolt gun do in a combi variant. Or some of you might not. Fuck it. I'll cover what the combi bolt gun plasma gun does, just so then it's clear, because I don't want any confusion. I hope this doesn't provide any confusion, but if you are confused, then my apologies. So, let's just get into skills first, I think, then weapons, then war gear. I think that's a good way to do it. So, let's begin. So, starting off strong, we have shooting, hip shooting to be precise. It's a weird one. When active, spend a double action, run and gun, you move double to your movement, and then make a ranged attack with a -1 modifier. You are shooting on 4s. And you might think that's kind of cool, but I think a better rule for him would have been maybe precision shot or marksman, maybe trick shot, just something other than hip shooting. It's fast shot actually might have been a better one, because then your shooting becomes simple instead of basic, meaning you can multiple shot. You can shoot in this twice instead of once. So maybe fast shot would have been a better one, but you know, that's up to you. Hip shooting isn't my cup of tea, but then again, it's an alright skill. It could be worse, it could be better, could be worse. And the other skill is fists. Now, fists are a Goliath skill, and unarmed attacks gain +2 strength, so strength 6, and damage 2. So you're punching people really sodding hard, and it's quite a good skill. Let's go on to the weapons. I like Fist of Steel, but then again, if you... it's alright if you've got a leader with no melee weapons and you want, you know, some melee defense, and that's quite useful. But if you're bringing melee weapons, then you're just going to use melee weapons, aren't you? But as you're playing Goliaths, it's quite useful. Also, really useful if you're playing Ogrins. Give this to Ogrins, because Ogrins follow the Goliath skill tree. And yeah, you are just strength 7 hits, just punching people out the way with Ogrins. It's really bloody good. And also damage 2 is quite nice. You might argue, oh, no AP, but you don't need AP in this game. AP isn't a make or break factor, unlike in 40k. It's really quite good with Ogrins. Just beam people out the way with... it's really good. I highly recommend you use Fist of Steel on Ogrins, or Headbutt. Headbutt's also solid. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Let's go into the gun. So, the bolt gun is quite nice, and because it's a combi bolt gun, you get to use the plasma gun as well. Ooh, special. But, range 24, minimum, well, anywhere between 12 and 24, really. Short range +1, 4 to strength 4, AP -1, damage 2, which is better than Space Marine bolt guns for some reason. Strength, not strength, Jesus. Reloading on 6s and rapid fire 1. The other gun, the plasma gun, is really bloody weird, because the plasma gun isn't how you think it would work. It's a bit janky. Basically, you go into special weapons, because it is a very special weapon indeed, and plasma gun. So you can fire it safely on low, which is, well, it's got range of 24 inches. If you're firing it in short range on low, then it's +2 to your accuracy, which is quite nice. So, strength 5, AP -1, damage 2, reloading on 5. Rapid fire 1, but scarce, because it's a plasma gun. Not everyone in Necromunda has a plasma gun. But say you want to overcharge it, well then you put it on maximal and let God sort it out. Because though in short range your own accuracy is only 1, you're now doing strength 7 hits, AP -2, damage is a flat 3. That's enough to kill a regular Ogren. And reloading on 5s. Now, it's not rapid fire, but it's scarce and unstable. Meaning that if you fuck up, you're dead. It is the most brutal gun I have ever seen, and I love it. I love when someone overcharges their plasma. Especially if you're using Eshes, you overcharge it and boom, dead Eshes everywhere. It's wonderful, and I highly recommend that you do it. Now, there is one more thing I need to show you, and that's the special refractor shield. Or shield field, sorry. Because that is quite a nice bit of kit, so let's go. So finally we're on the armour, and the armour is solid. So starting off with furnace plates, that's a 6 up save, but 5 from the front, so Why do I like the field armor? Basically, the refractor field is a 5-up invuln save, and the hit is ignored. But on a 2, if you roll a 2 or the then roll a 2 or the field is burnt out. So basically, roll a 2 or higher and the force field stays. But if you roll a 1, then it's burnt out. And there are other fields like the 4-up invulnerable save or the weird fetish one where you basically deny psychers, or the conversion field, which is quite funny because you can just flash your own gang. And that I've seen that happen. That's quite fun because everyone gets blinded. It's silly and dumb, but bring it along if you want shenanigans. But the refractor field is quite good because it's a 5-up invuln save, basically. And yeah, it's solid. Saving things with that is really good. And yeah, you just see if it's successful, and you can ignore hits, and you can still use it, but don't roll a 1, otherwise it gets burnt out. And that's it, really. I have nothing else to show you. I hope you enjoyed the video. I will cover the other bounty hunter. I feel like I need to go back over these two, Kill Fist and Axon, because I didn't do a good job. Hopefully I did a better job this time. If not, then sod it, I'm going to carry on as normal. But I've been Idiotic Synergy, and I'll see you later. Remember, take care, stay safe, and look after each other. Bye for now.